All right, good afternoon. Court's on the record, Commerce City Municipal Court for August 19th of 2021. For the people that are on Zoom, please leave your devices on mute. I will tell you to unmute when I'm ready to call your case. For the people that are in the courtroom, when I call your name, I'm going to direct you to come forward to one of the 3 marked stations at the front. While you're at the station, you just need to speak in a clear, loud, normal voice, and that should be fine. One of my responsibilities is to make sure that everything that you say gets properly recorded. After you're done, I'll direct you to see my clerks in the lobby. Their windows are located to the left once you've exited through the double doors at the rear of the courtroom. When you leave the courtroom, go out through those double doors, but you do not need to go out through the metal detector. Just make a left before you get to the metal detector, and that'll get you to my clerks. Let's start with DeMontre Woods, if you would come to station number 1 with counsel. Actually, number 1. There you go.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Thomas Clark. I represent DeMontre Woods, who is present with me.
All right. I have a document that indicates that if he pleads guilty to the added reduced charge of speeding 65 in a 45-mile-per-hour zone, a 4-point violation, the city attorney will dismiss the original charge against him. Is that a correct statement of the proposed disposition?
I think it's a 6-point.
What did I say, 8? 4. Oh, no, yeah, 65 and a 45, 6-point. Is that a correct statement of the proposed disposition?
It is, Your Honor.
All right, good afternoon, Mr. Woods.
Good afternoon.
All right. Did you hear what your attorney and I were just discussing about the proposed disposition? And is this, in fact, how you wish to resolve your case today, by pleading guilty to this 6-point speeding charge? Have you had enough time to consult with Mr. Clark regarding the options available to you on the original charge in this case? And are you satisfied with the service, advice, and representation that he's given you thus far in this matter? And Mr. Clark, would you waive further reading and advisement on this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Woods, then to the disposition. Has anyone forced you or coerced you to get you to plead guilty to this reduced charge against your will? No. Has anyone made any promise to you to get you to enter this guilty plea? No. Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medications that affect your ability to understand what you're doing in court today? No. To the added charge of speeding 65 in a 45 zone, a 4-point violation on June 10th of 2021, at approximately 8:30 in the morning in the area of 85th and Mill Road here in Commerce City. How do you plead, guilty or not guilty? Mr. Clark, would you waive the necessity of the establishment of a factual basis to support the plea?
Yes, Your Honor. For the record, Your Honor, the court did refer to this disposition as a 4-point sentence just now.
I did it again?
Yes, sir.
All right, let me be clear. 65 in a 45, a 6-point violation. How do you plead, guilty or not guilty? All right. And again, I don't know why I keep referring to it as a 4. I'm looking at the number 6 as I'm saying it. Again, would you waive the necessity of the establishment of a factual basis to support the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Anything by way of mitigation?
Your Honor, what I can tell the court is what Mr. Woods has told me and what I advised the city attorney. Mr. Woods has been a resident of the state of Colorado for, I think, about 6 months or so now. On the date of this ticket, he had just gotten a new job. He was running a little bit late for work, and he was speeding on a road that he shouldn't have been speeding on at that time of day. That's the bottom line, and he knows that. But he didn't want to have problems. So, you know, with a 6-point ticket, it's a pretty serious charge. It takes half his points away, and he recognizes that he has to be a much better driver in order to keep his license.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Woods, is there anything you want me to take into consideration before I impose the sentence against you? All right. I'll note all your prior violations are out of state, and to be candid, they don't count as aggravating factors here. Obviously, the only aggravating factor is the speed and location of where this occurred. Just so that you're aware, and I don't know how often you come through Commerce City, but the single most dangerous intersection in this area is 60th Avenue and Highway 85, just south of where you got the ticket. The police kind of set up at Mill Road, which is underneath those railroad overpasses, because the 45-mile-an-hour speed limit sign is between 60th Avenue and where they set up. So you will have just passed the 45-mile-an-hour sign before they clock you. And again, they patrol that area heavily because of all of the accidents we get at not only 60th Avenue, but down at 52nd Avenue. Lots of accidents through there, and it's a huge commute route for Denver. So all I can tell you is, for your personal safety in the future, really monitor your speed there. I mean, obviously you didn't get to work any faster because you got pulled over and got a ticket, but I'm more concerned about your safety and public safety in that area, okay? All right, let me do the math here. All right, your scheduled fine in this case would have been $320. I'll take into consideration what your attorney indicated, your clean record in Colorado, and the plea bargain. I'm going to reduce your fine from $320 down to $200 plus surcharges and court costs. 6 points are going to be assessed against your driving record in Colorado. When you go to the windows in the lobby and see my clerks, they will tell you what the total is, including the surcharges and court costs, and if you need them to, they'll work out a payment plan for you. Do you have any questions? And Mr. Clark, is there anything else I need to address in this case?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you for appearing. If you'll direct your client to the clerk's window in the lobby. Okay, Essence, Aragon, if you would come to station number 3, please. Good afternoon. All right, the city attorney is satisfied with the proof of community service you submitted. I think my records show that you already did the class. Is that correct? Give me a second, it's loading. There it goes. Oh, finally. All right. The city attorney is agreeing to dismiss this case against you. There are no remaining issues to be addressed on your case. When you go to the windows in the lobby and see my clerk, they'll give you a copy of the order of dismissal. Once you get that, you are free to leave. Do you have any questions? No? All right, go ahead and go to the windows, see my clerk. You can go ahead and just go to the windows, see my clerk. Hate when I hit the wrong button. All right, Hector Vargas, where are you at? Okay, you don't need to come forward. Your case is being dismissed. Just go to the windows in the lobby, see my clerk, and then you are free to leave. All right, Sergio Guzman, if you would unmute your device.
Hello.
Good afternoon. And Mr. Sanchez, would you please place your device on mute?
Sure.
Thank you. Give me a second, Mr. Guzman, while I pull up your case.
Okay.
Ah, it just kicked me out again. I think I hit a wrong button earlier, and it's not letting me get forgiven for that. Here we go. Okay, here we go. I have a document that indicates that if you plead guilty to the reduced charge of improper lane use, this is a 3-point violation. The city attorney will dismiss the 6-point speeding charge from August 3rd of 2021 at 10:15 in the morning in the area of 92nd and Tower Road here in Commerce City. Is this how you wish to resolve your case today?
Yes.
Did you watch the advisement of rights video?
Yes.
Do you understand if I accept your guilty plea to this reduced charge, you're waiving all of those rights that I advised you of in that video?
Yes.
Has anyone forced you or coerced you to get you to plead guilty to this reduced charge against your will?
No.
Has anyone made any promise to you to get you to enter this guilty plea?
No.
Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medications that affect your ability to understand what you're doing in court today?
No.
Then to the added reduced charge of improper lane use, a 3-point violation. All of a sudden, my mic went to mute. Did you just touch that screen? Give me just a second. All right, it should be back up and running. Yeah, it sounds right now. Okay, I'm sorry. Has anyone made any promise to you to get you to enter this guilty plea?
No.
Are you currently... Give me a second. My recording device is off. Okay, it's back on. My clerk has to wipe something down, and evidently she touched the other control screen. All right, in any event, are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medications that affect your ability to understand what you're doing in court today?
No.
Then to the added reduced charge of improper lane use, a 3-point violation on August 3rd of 2021 here in Commerce City, how do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
I'll accept your guilty plea. Is there anything you want me to take into consideration before I impose the sentence against you?
No.
Oh, you have a very good driving record. That helps. All right, your schedule fine's $160. Because of your plea bargain and your driving record, I'm going to reduce your fine to $80 plus surcharges plus court costs. Now, when you leave the meeting, my clerks are going to reach out to you by email, either later today, sometime tomorrow, absolutely by Friday. They will tell you what the total is, and they'll explain how to make payment arrangements. And if you need a payment plan, they can work on that for you as well. Do you have any questions?
Great, thank you. No, I don't. Thank you.
Okay, then you can go ahead and leave the meeting. Have a good afternoon. The September 2nd date is hereby canceled. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, Nathaniel Sayer, if you would unmute your device.
Yes, hello.
Good afternoon. Okay, and if Ms. Martinez, if you would put your device on mute, please. All right, Mr. Sayer, let's see what we've got here. I have a document that indicates that if you plead guilty to the added reduced charge of speeding 55 in a 45 zone, that is a 4-point ticket. The city attorney will dismiss the original speeding charge from July 14th of 2021, shortly before 3 o'clock in the afternoon, in the area of 91st and Highway 2 here in Commerce City. Is this how you wish to resolve your case today?
Correct.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Yes, correct.
Carmen. Did you watch the advisement of rights video?
Yes, I did.
Do you understand that if I accept your guilty plea to this reduced charge, you're waiving all of those rights that I advised you of in that video?
Yes.
Has anyone forced you or coerced you to get you to plead guilty to this reduced charge against your will?
No.
Has anyone made any promise to you to get you to enter this guilty plea?
No.
Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medications that affect your ability to understand what you're doing in court today?
No.
Then to the added reduced charge of speeding 55 in a 45 zone, a 4-point violation on July 14th of 2021 here in Commerce City. How do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
I'll accept your guilty plea. Is there anything you want me to take into consideration before I impose the sentence against you?
No, I do not think so.
All right. Your driving record shows a ticket from Mountain View from October of last year. Is that entry correct?
Yes.
Okay, this is going to give you 8 total points. You need to make sure you don't pick up another ticket this year, because obviously then you'd run into points problems and can be suspended. You understand that, right?
Correct, yeah.
All right, let me do the math. All right, your scheduled fine is $280 because of the speed you were going over and the moving violation within the year. I'm actually going to drop this all the way back down to $200 plus surcharges plus court costs. When you leave the meeting, my clerks will reach out to you by email either later today or sometime tomorrow, Friday at the latest. They'll tell you what the total is when surcharges and court costs get added, and if you need them to, they'll work out a payment plan for you. Do you have any questions, Mr. Sayer?
No, I do not.
All right, you can keep an eye out for that email, but go ahead, you can leave the meeting now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Davina Flores, if you would come to station number 1, please. Good afternoon. All right, I have a document that indicates that if you plead guilty to the added reduced charge of driving a defective vehicle, the city attorney will dismiss the original charge against you from July 19th of 2021 at 1 o'clock in the afternoon in the area of 104th and Highway 2. This is reduced charge is a 2-point violation. Is this how you wish to resolve your case today, by pleading guilty to this reduced charge? Did you watch the advisement of rights video? Do you understand that if I accept your guilty plea to this reduced charge, you're waiving all of those rights that I advised you of in that video? Has anyone forced you or coerced you to get you to plead guilty to this reduced charge against your will? Has anyone made any promise to you to get you to enter this guilty plea? Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medications that affect your ability to understand what you're doing in court today? Then to the added reduced charge of driving a defective vehicle, a 2-point violation on July 19th of 2021 here in Commerce City. How do you plead, guilty or not guilty? I'll accept your guilty plea. Is there anything you want me to take into consideration before I impose the sentence against you? All right. There's nothing in aggravation on your driving record. The only ticket you got's too old for me to consider. So the only aggravating factor is this accident. Ooh, not good. Was it where the arrow is blinking yellow? Yeah, you got to understand the people coming straight have the right of way there. Okay. Now your scheduled fine's $280. Again, there's nothing in aggravation on your driving record. The only aggravating factor is the accident itself. And you were fully insured, right? Okay. Yeah, I can only go down to 200. I'm going to impose a fine of $200 plus surcharges plus costs. When you go to the windows in the lobby to see my clerks, they're going to tell you what the total is. If you need them to, they'll work out a payment plan for you. Do you have any questions? All right, go ahead and go to the windows, see my clerk. Uh-huh. All right. Hey, Menino, if you would come to station number 2, that's the lectern right in the middle. I have a document that indicates first that the city attorney is amending the original charge from public indecency to indecent exposure. That way you're charged with the right original subsection. In addition, he's moving to add a count of unlawful disposal of bodily waste. In exchange to pleading guilty to that reduced charge, he'll dismiss the original indecent exposure charge. This offense is alleged to have occurred on July 31st of 2021 at 1:30 in the afternoon in the area of 64th and Kearney Street here in Commerce City. First, do you understand what it is that the city attorney is doing with your case and the added charge that he's asking you to plead guilty to? Well, it's a more specific charge. He gave you a public indecency, which is a broader charge. He's changing it to indecent exposure, which is a more specific charge. But he's dismissing that if you plead guilty to the reduced charge of unlawful disposal of bodily waste. Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you watch the advisement of rights video? Okay. Are you a veteran of or a current member of the United States Armed Forces? The city attorney said that he went over what the elements were, both of the original charge and of the reduced charge that you're pleading guilty to. In other words, he explained what the difference between the two was and what it is that you would be pleading guilty to. Did he go over those elements with you? All right. And you've watched the video. Do you understand that if I accept your guilty plea to this reduced charge, you're waiving all of those rights that I advised you of in the video?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead. Do you have a question?
The only thing that I was hoping that it doesn't, because I didn't, I mean, I know ignorance goes on no different. If I knew that it was like that, I would have never. And I came from New Mexico to work. When it happened, I was at just a regular store. And I came back from New Mexico to take care of it.
No.
But I'm just hoping it won't be on the record. Is that?
Well, what goes on your record is what the original charge was, what the amended charge was, that they were both dismissed, and that you pled guilty to unlawful disposal of bodily waste. That's what goes on your record. Okay. So again, right, do you understand, as I indicated, that you're waiving your right to have a trial, you're waiving your right to an attorney, you're waiving your right to appeal. All of those are rights that I advised you of on the video. You're giving all of those up if I accept your guilty plea. Okay. Has anyone forced you or coerced you to get you to plead guilty to this charge against your will?
No, sir.
Has anyone made any promise to you to get you to enter this guilty plea? Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medications that affect your ability to understand what you're doing in court today? Then to the added reduced charge of unlawful disposal of bodily waste. On July 31st of 2021, here in Commerce City, how do you plead, guilty or not guilty? I'll accept your guilty plea. I'll find it's knowing, intelligently, and voluntarily made, with a full understanding of the rights being waived as well as the possible consequences. Give me just a moment, please. Were you working on that construction site that's between 62nd and 64th, just west of Kearney, where all that big construction's going on?
No, sir. I was working in Evergreen. They have a Marsdale Elementary, and they were relocating a pipe, and they were gonna dig up the ground where they're gonna put the new building. And so I came from Evergreen. When I googled the Love's Truck Stop, they gave me the tax brothers, and so I drove all the way over here to clean up. And then after that, I googled the nearest Family Dollar store, and it gave me that one place. So I drove over there because it was a Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And then so we didn't work Saturday or Sunday, and what happened was on Sunday. And so after I was going to take a shower and be gone, I would drive back to Evergreen to work. Yes, sir.
All right, well, the area that you're at, there's a school right there on the corner, the northeast corner of 64th and Kearney. That's what concerned people, is because there's a elementary school.
I just know that it's a Mexican plaza, and so I didn't want to go in and bother with anyone, and there was this big building where the officer and where everything happened was it's a big building, and it spans the length of the block, and I was at a T, right, and so the very first entrance was an entrance to a building, and I wasn't going to go there, and so I kept walking. I said, man, if I can make it to an alley, I should be okay.
Why didn't you just go into the gas station that's over there? It's 1:30 in the afternoon and you're in the vicinity of an elementary school. Of course she's going to be concerned. She doesn't know what you're doing there. Mm-hmm. All right. Mm-hmm. I'm taking into consideration that you drove up from New Mexico to take care of this. All right, so listen carefully how I'm imposing the fine. I'm going to impose a $450 fine, but I'm going to suspend $400 of it. That leaves you a $50 fine plus surcharges plus court costs. The $400 is suspended on the condition that you have no new law violations in Commerce City other than routine traffic violations for a period of 1 year, okay? Go to the windows, pay the fine, stay out of trouble, okay? Mm-hmm. Aricia Williams, if you would come to station number 3, please. Good afternoon. I have a document that indicates that if you plead guilty to the added reduced charge of improper lane use, that is a 3-point violation, the city attorney will dismiss the original speeding charge from July 10th of 2021 at about 6:15 in the evening in the area of 83rd and Tower Road here in Commerce City. Is this how you wish to resolve your case today? Did you watch the advisement of rights video? Do you understand that if I accept your guilty plea to this reduced charge, you're waiving all of those rights that I advised you of in that video? Has anyone forced you or coerced you to get you to plead guilty to this reduced charge against your will? Has anyone made any promise to you to get you to enter this guilty plea? Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medications that affect your ability to understand what you're doing in court today? Then to the added reduced charge of improper lane use, a 3-point violation on July 10th of 2021 here in Commerce City. How do you plead, guilty or not guilty? I'll accept your guilty plea. Is there anything you want me to take into consideration before I impose the sentence against you? Well, I show you live in Thornton. If you're going to Greeley, you're not anywhere going in the right. Okay. All right. Your schedule fine's $120. There's nothing in aggravation on your driving record. I'm going to reduce your fines to $80 plus surcharges plus court costs. When you go to the windows in the lobby, see my clerks. They will tell you the total. And if you need them to, they'll work out a payment plan for you. Okay? Uh-huh. All right. Eric Garcia, if you would unmute your device. Eric Garcia Vigil. I don't show anyone that's just on a cell phone. Mr. Garcia Vigil, are you on there? I've got everybody accounted for. He's not on here. Okay, Samantha Rose, would you unmute your device, please?
Hello.
Good afternoon. Give me a second while I pull up your case. All right, I have a document that indicates that if you plead guilty, do you have video capability?
Yes, I do.
You want to go ahead and turn it on for me? Thank you. And your middle name is?
Paige.
Okay, you're the right person then. I have a document that indicates that if you plead guilty to the added reduced charge of driving a vehicle with a defective headlight, this is a 1-point violation. The city attorney will dismiss the original charge from July 22nd of 2021 at about 8:30 in the morning in the area of Oneida Street and Highway 2 here in Commerce City. Is this how you wish to resolve your case today?
Yes.
Did you watch the advisement of rights video?
Yeah.
Understand that if I accept your guilty plea to this reduced charge, you're waiving all of those rights that I advised you of in that video.
Yes.
Has anyone forced you or coerced you to get you to plead guilty to this reduced charge against your will?
No.
Has anyone made any promise to you to get you to enter this guilty plea?
No.
Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medications that affect your ability to understand what you're doing in court today?
No.
Then to the added reduced charge of driving a vehicle with a defective headlight, a 1-point violation on July 22nd of 2021 here in Commerce City. How do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
I'll accept your guilty plea. Is there anything you want me to take into consideration before I impose the sentence against you?
Because I have a good driving record, is there an option for a prayer for judgment continued?
I haven't heard that phrase since I was in law school. What do you think that means?
I, from what I was researched, it means that if you don't do anything or get any tickets or anything for like a year, it doesn't show up on your record. Is that correct?
In Colorado, we called those things either deferred prosecutions or deferred judgments. And
Oh,
they normally don't apply in traffic cases.
okay.
Yeah, they usually apply in criminal cases.
Okay.
Very minor criminal cases. I do show that you have a clear driving record. How long have you been driving in Colorado?
4 years.
Okay, and this looks like, am I correct, this is your first ticket in that time?
Yes.
All right. Now, the city attorney and you discussed this case. He made the offer to the 1-point violation. I don't negotiate plea bargains. I simply administer the case that came in front of me. So if this is what you want to do, I'm prepared to go forward with sentencing. Is this what you want to do?
Yeah, that's okay.
All right. Your scheduled fine is only $80. There's no accident. There's nothing in aggravation. Because of your clear driving record, I'm going to reduce your fine to $30 plus surcharges and court costs. When you leave the meeting, my clerks are going to reach out to you by email, either later today or sometime tomorrow, to the same email that you used to sign up today. They're going to tell you what the total is when the surcharges and court costs get added in, and then if you need them to, they'll work out a payment plan for you. And they'll tell you in that email how to take care of making payment. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay. So again, a 1-point violation is assessed against you. The fine is $30 plus surcharges plus court costs. You can go ahead and leave the meeting. Just keep an eye out for that email. It'll either be today, tomorrow, certainly by Friday. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. This person's a no-show. Eric Lightbody, if you would unmute your device.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Give me a moment while I pull up your ticket. All right, I have a document that indicates that if you plead guilty to the added reduced charge of driving a defective vehicle in Colorado, that's a 2-point violation. The city attorney will dismiss the original charge against you from July 22nd of 2021 at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon in the area of Prairie Parkway at Trenton Street here in Commerce City. Is this how you wish to resolve your case today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Did you watch the advisement of rights video?
Yes.
Do you understand that if I accept your guilty plea to this reduced charge, you're waiving all of those rights that you were advised of in that video?
Yes.
Has anyone forced you or coerced you to get you to plead guilty to this reduced charge against your will?
No.
Has anyone made any promise to you to get you to enter this guilty plea?
No.
Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medications that affect your ability to understand what you're doing in court today?
No.
Then to the added reduced charge of driving a defective vehicle, again, a 2-point violation, on July 22nd of 2021 here in Commerce City, how do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
I'll accept your guilty plea. Is there anything you want me to take into consideration before I impose the sentence against you?
No.
Okay, give me just a moment here. All right. All right. The only aggravating factor is the collision itself. Your schedule fine's $240. I have to give you an aggravated fine because of the collision itself, but I'm going to reduce it from $240 to $180, plus surcharges, plus court costs. When you leave the meeting, my clerks will reach out to you by email. They'll tell you what the total is, and if you need them to, they'll work out a payment plan for you. Do you have any questions?
Oh, no, thank you.
Okay, you can go ahead and leave the meeting. Have a good day.
Dude, thanks.
Were you able to reach this person? Or did you just send them an email? I'm doing it right now. Okay. Anthony Sanchez Jr., if you would unmute your device, please.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay, I have a document that indicates that if you plead guilty to the added reduced charge of speeding 55 in a 45 mile per hour zone, a 4-point violation on July 10th of 2021 at about 12:30 in the afternoon in the area of 92nd and Highway 2 here in Commerce City, the city attorney will dismiss the original speeding charge against you. Is this how you wish to resolve your case today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you watch the advisement of rights video? Did you watch the advisement of rights video?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And do you understand that if I accept your guilty plea to this reduced charge, you're waiving all of those rights that I advised you of in that video?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced you or coerced you to get you to plead guilty to this reduced charge against your will?
No, sir.
Has anyone made any promise to you to get you to enter this guilty plea?
No, sir.
Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medications that affect your ability to understand what you're doing in court today?
No, sir.
Then to the added reduced charge of speeding 55 in a 45 zone, that's a 4-point violation, on July 10th of 2021 here in Commerce City, how do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
I'll accept your guilty plea. Is there anything you want me to take into consideration before I impose the sentence against you?
No, sir.
All right, your driving record shows a ticket from here in Commerce City from July of last year. Is that entry correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm looking at where you live. You got to know Highway 2 in that part of town's a 35, but once you get, north of Quebec, it's a 45 all the way up until you get to I-76. I mean, it's always a 45 there now. You got to slow down a lot, okay?
Yes.
All right. Your schedule fine's $200. I can only lower yours to $160 plus surcharges plus court costs. When you leave the meeting, my clerks are going to reach out to you by email today or tomorrow or Friday. They'll tell you what the total is when everything is worked in, the surcharges and court costs, and if you need them to, they'll work out a payment plan for you. Do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor. Thank you so much.
All right, you can go ahead and leave the meeting. Take care. Jasmine Wells, if you would unmute your device.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I'm trying to do the video for you, but it won't let me, so I might have to just do audio if that's okay with you.
Okay, well, down in the bottom left where your microphone is, there should be something that looks like a camera. If you click that, that should activate your video. Is it giving you an error message?
It's not like letting me, like every time like I will try to like click on it, it's just like not going to like, it's just not working.
No, that's fine. Give me just a moment then. Okay, tell me what your middle name is.
My middle name is Shantae Renee,
Okay, and your date of birth?
May 30th, 2002.
Okay, I just want to be able to verify that you are who got the ticket, okay?
Okay.
I have a document that indicates that if you plead guilty to the added reduced charge of driving a defective vehicle, a 2-point violation, the city attorney will dismiss the original speeding charge from July 12th of 2021 at about 11:45 in the afternoon in the area of 83rd and Highway 2 here in Commerce City. Is this how you wish to resolve your case today, by pleading guilty to this reduced charge?
Yes.
Did you watch the advisement of rights video?
Yes, I did.
Do you understand that if I accept your guilty plea to this reduced charge, you're waiving all of those rights that I advised you of in that video?
Yes.
Has anyone forced you or coerced you to get you to plead guilty to this reduced charge against your will?
No.
Has anyone made any promise to you to get you to enter this guilty plea?
No.
Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medications that affect your ability to understand what you're doing in court today?
No.
Then to the added reduced charge of driving a defective vehicle, a 2-point violation on July 12th of 2021 here in Commerce City. How do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
I'll accept your guilty plea. Is there anything you want me to take into consideration before I impose this sentence against you?
No, not really.
Okay, let's see what we've got here. How long have you been driving?
I've only been driving since I got out of high school, so almost like 2 years.
Okay, this looks like it's your first ticket, is that correct?
Yes.
All right, here's what I tell all young people. First, because you're a fairly inexperienced or new driver, you're more likely to either get into or cause an accident than a more experienced driver. All right, so the first thing you need to do is understand that and use extra caution whenever you drive. Second thing I tell young people is that when you get behind the wheel of a car, you only have one goal. That goal is to get to where you're going safely. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
And in response to that, I usually tell people that the one thing you do not ever want to do when you get behind the wheel of the car is be in a hurry. If you're running late when you get into your car, accept the fact that you're going to get to where you're going late and just try to get there safely. Follow the speed limits, leave plenty of space between you and cars in front of you. Don't cut in and out of traffic. Don't try to make up for lost time in your car, because for a new driver, that's exactly how it is that you're either going to get into or cause an accident or get pulled over for a ticket. And in this case, you obviously didn't make it to work on time because you were pulled over and got a ticket, and that made you even later, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So it's a self-defeating prophecy. If you try to rush in your car, you're not going to get there any faster, and all you're going to do is increase your risk level for getting into or causing an accident. So just keep that in mind from now on. When you get behind the wheel of a car, you have one goal. Get to where you're going safely. Don't be distracted by food, drink, music, friends, phones, anything else. When you're behind the wheel, your focus is on driving. Once you've got another couple of years under your belt driving on a daily basis, a lot of this stuff will be a lot easier. But for right now, with 2 years in, you just have to be extra careful, okay?
Okay.
All right, let me do the math here. All right, your schedule fine's $120. There's nothing in aggravation on your record, and you've got a good plea bargain. So I'm going to lower your fine down to $60, plus surcharges, plus court costs. And I want you to learn this, use this as an educational opportunity, not so much a punitive opportunity, okay?
Okay.
All right. Do you have any questions?
No, thank you.
Okay, when you leave the meeting, my clerks will reach out to you by email. They're going to tell you what the total is. If you need them to, they'll work out a payment plan for you. So you can go ahead and leave the meeting. Just keep an eye out for that email either today, tomorrow, or Friday, okay?
Okay, yeah, sounds good. Thank you.
All right, you can leave the meeting. Go ahead. All right, Rolani Martinez, if you would unmute your device.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'll need you to activate your camera. Okay, and are you her mother?
Yes.
Okay. Back on February 25th of 2020, She picked up a ticket for unlawful possession, consumption of use of marijuana at Kearney Middle School, which is a really bad place to do this. At that time, the city attorney offered you a chance to get the case dismissed if you completed the drug and alcohol diversion class. You were set over for a new court date into July of 2020. When you failed to appear or failed to comply with completing the class, I issued a warrant for your arrest. Looks like you've got arrested and signed a PR bond. So I'll cancel the warrant for your arrest. The city attorney is willing to give you another chance. You need to get this diversion class done. Now it's also going to cost you $80 in court costs in order to have this case dismissed. Is this how you wish to resolve your case, Leilani?
Yes.
Okay. And again, you're her mother, right?
Yes.
Are you her mother?
Yes.
Okay. Can you pan the camera over to her or have her move in front of the camera a little bit? Okay. Do you understand what it is that's expected of your daughter?
Yes.
Okay. And so when we leave the meeting, my clerks are going to give you another referral to get your daughter signed up for the diversion class. There's going to be $80 that's going to be due on the next court date. The next court date's going to be in about 6 weeks. I'm going to need a date and time. All of this stuff will come to you by email, and it'll give you a chance to get everything done so that the case against her can be dismissed. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, hold on for just a second. Okay. September 29th? All right. Your next court date, and this is a mandatory appearance date now, is September 29th of 2021 at 1:15. The PR bond will be continued until that date and time. So you'll get this email from my clerks either later today or tomorrow, certainly by Friday, that will tell you what you have to do to get the class registered for and signed up for. It's your responsibility to make sure we get that certificate of completion on the next court date, okay? And then they'll also tell you how to take care of paying the $80 in court costs. Do you have any questions, either one of you?
No.
No? No questions?
No.
All right, then you can go ahead and sign off the meeting. Keep an eye out for that email with the paperwork, okay?
Okay.
You can leave the meeting. Any update on Mr. Mercivio? Okay. Did you tell Carmen that she missed that mom pizza was really good? Was it? Yeah, I love mom. Yeah, it was really good.
In the meantime, apparently Richard Gonzalez is in jail in Jeffco.
Richard Gonzalez?
Yeah.
The lawyer?
No. It's Richard Gonzalez, right? Yep, correct. We have 17 warrants on him.
Oh, that Richard Gonzalez.
Yes.
Oh. I never expected to see him.
Well, he's in Jeffco.
He got picked up. No, here's the story. He's in Adams County, but Adams County is not going to hold him, even though he has all of our warrants. They called Jeffco and told Jeffco, come pick him up. So Jeffco, without looking, was like, okay, we'll go pick him up. Their people are over there to pick him up, and then their office people are calling us like, hey, wait, he's got we're showing at least over 10 warrants on him. And I'm like, yeah, he does. And they're like, well, we're already on goes,
does he have any Jeffco cases?
yes.
Yeah.
So Jeffco's like okay with it, cause we're like, they wanna get rid of their shit with him too, but that's why they're calling us, because they were like, well, we need to
When
take
does
care of
Adams,
this.
at some point Adams has to start taking people.
Nope.
They're still not taking uni or misdemeanors or petty offenses.
Jeffco said that they've been doing that this whole time, just getting rid of,
Yeah.
they won't hold anybody on anything anymore, not even their own stuff, they just get rid of them.
Yeah, in Adams,
Another county case
right.
somewhere else.
in Adams, they're not holding anybody with municipal warrants or minor misdemeanors or petty offenses. And the misdemeanors, unless it's a crime of violence, like a harassment or an assault or DV, they're not holding them. There's literally like 4 people in the jail and they're on municipal DVs. No other municipal prisoners are in the jail. And in terms of the petty offenses, none at all in jail.
At some point.
Yes, but it's not now. They were about to start doing it effective September 1st, but that got put back.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah, she did register. I was just about to email her and telling her.
You want to go talk to her?
Yeah, let me talk.
So you want me to let her in? No, you want to talk to her on the phone. Don't let her in, Sue. I'll just transfer the call to you guys.
Well, the judge is gonna have to talk to her if she can't make it. Can you let her in Zoom?
Let her in Zoom.
All right.
Okay, we'll get it all worked out.
Right, let her in Zoom.
Yeah. So then, Jeffco says, well, we want to get it taken care of, and I'm like, well, yeah, we do too, but it won't be until next week.
He's not going to be done in Jeffco by next week because he's got Lakewood cases.
I said, we'll have our case, we'll schedule it for next week.
I know, but what I'm saying is Jeffco won't be done with him by next week. He has Lakewood cases. I remember him from the Lakewood cases more than anything.
Yeah, and when I asked him what he had, he was like, well, I don't have it in front of me, so we need to get that information anyway, so.
Well, try to set it up for next week, but
Oh, yeah, we are,
I doubt that he's going to be back.
yeah. 17 warrants. It's gonna take a good little while. And on WebEx, you only have an hour and 15 minutes. No, 50 minutes. Oh, 50 minutes, that's right.
Yeah, but we can bleed into North Glen's time. Oh, that's right, WebEx. WebEx, yeah, I forgot.
Good news though, it's hard to get 17 on one form, so I'm gonna have Brian write it up.
Please don't do that to us.
Hey Brian, you know the most microscopic handwriting?
Tiny pencil like this.
How many 211s? I'm thinking 5.
I'm thinking 5 too.
What makes you think it's going to work itself out?
Well, there's 17 cases, you think
So one
5,
case,
12.
one rule 211 to set it over for a pretrial so you can be advised by.
No, we're not setting it over.
You know, I have Travis Clifton, I wrote it up once for Jacob, I taped it to my wall, cause I'm like, I'm not writing it up again. Although it's after you.
in the break time.
Okay.
Shit gets better. He's in the back, putting all the shit away. I'm not in there. I was in here throwing things out the Gonzalez side. And he goes across the hall to ask Dylan for boxes because we're out of boxes, which we're not. Because he doesn't have nowhere to put the paper. And I walked in the office and he goes, Dylan said order more boxes. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he goes, yes, Dylan said order more boxes. And I go, Christopher, we have boxes. He goes, no, we don't. I'm like, yes, we do. We go in the back, and he's back there. And I look, and I'm like, what are those folded boxes? He goes, those are boxes. I'm like, they're baker boxes. They fold like that. He was like, what? And I'm like, okay, like, dude, you need to. He went across the hall though to ask Dylan if we could order more boxes. Why would you bother Dylan? Because May's not here. And the
See.
message said, go see Dylan.
Right. Yeah, they're supposed to come to me. I didn't want anybody going to Dylan unless it was an HR thing.
I was like, for boxes? Okay, like I wasn't gone like half a day or anything. Like I was gone like 5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, and then he ordered more boxes. And I'm like, then to pull it out, I pull out a whole brand new box of baker boxes. I was like, Christopher, I know you're bored, I get it, but come on now, pull it together.
You missed also that Krista dressed like Chris last week. It was funny. The blue shirt, the khaki pants, the untucked cut, the whole 9 yards. It was funny. She gets brownie points from me for that. It's going in her performance evaluation. That's a big plus. He just has a whole bunch of the same thing. Yeah, I really don't think you guys need to be bothering Dylan with anything unless it's something that I can't handle. About the only thing I can't handle is questions related to, well, I can't think of anything, but HR maybe. That's about it. HR questions. That comes to me. That comes to me. Nothing like that would ever go to Dylan. I don't even know why she put that in her email. Right. Yeah, but just skip the middlemen. Let's go to the top. Oh, because the city council people disagreed about how they wanted it. There's some that just absolutely refused, and evidently they're all on that side. The other ones that sit on this side. No, and as nice as he is, he's not Laura. Laura was more capable. All right. Court's on the record regarding Kayla Molina, case number EM-10560. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Okay, give me one moment.
Okay.
There it is. All right. Looks like you were previously fully advised on July 1st of 2021. Not a member or a veteran of the armed forces. You watched the video advisement back on July 1st of 2021 when you entered your not guilty plea. I've been advised that you wish to withdraw your not guilty plea, set your case over for a pretrial conference. Between now and then, if you complete 16 hours of useful public service, an adult making better choices class, have no contact with Benjamin Bartlett, and commit no new law violations other than routine traffic violations, the city attorney will agree to dismiss this case against you.
Okay.
Ms. Molina, is that how you wish to resolve your case today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has anyone forced you or coerced you to get you to withdraw your not guilty plea today against your will?
No.
Has anyone made any promise to you to get you to set aside your not guilty plea?
No.
Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medications that affect your ability to understand what you're doing in court today?
No.
Okay, you understand that you have what's called a constitutional right to a speedy trial. That constitutional right began to run on July 1st of 2021 when you entered your not guilty plea. What that rule says is that your case had to be brought to trial within 91 days of that date. Today, if you withdraw your not guilty plea and at some later date you change your mind and decide to re-enter your not guilty plea, your right to a speedy trial will begin to run brand new, a full 91 days from any future date that you tender a not guilty plea. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so all of this time that runs from July 1st through now doesn't count against your right to a speedy trial. You get that, right?
I do. Yes.
Okay. Give me just a moment. Okay. When you leave the meeting, my clerks are going to give you the new court date, the pre-trial conference date. It's going to be in about 6 or 7 weeks. That way you have plenty of time to get everything done. They're going to give you the referral to the people that put on the class. It's important that you contact them right away, get the class scheduled, so it can be completed before the next court date. It's going to be your responsibility to make sure the certificate of completion is received by the court on or before the next court date.
Okay.
My clerks are going to send you the form we use for community service. You can do the community service anywhere. It does not have to be done in Commerce City. The only requirement that I make is that the place that you pick to do the community service must be a legitimate nonprofit agency. I won't accept it if you simply do free work for friends, neighbors, relatives, or for a for-profit business. So make sure the place that you pick is a legitimate nonprofit, Goodwill, ARC, Meals on Wheels, food banks, Boys and Girls Clubs, churches, schools, whatever. Make sure that it is, do the work, have them fill out the form, and again, get that back to us on or before the next court date. And then the rest of this is easy. Stay away from Mr. Bartlett and don't pick up any new cases. If everything is in order on the next date, I'll dismiss the case, and then at that time I'll explain how you can have the record of this case sealed. Do you have any questions?
I don't.
Okay, you can go ahead and leave the meeting. My clerks will get all this paperwork to you either later today, tomorrow, certainly by Friday, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Have a good afternoon.
You too.
Exposure sounds worse than public indecency, but
Well,
it's actually not as bad.
You know, interestingly enough, if you look at the statute for registration as a sex offender, indecent exposure